Welcome to the Wizards of Ecom, your no-fluff playbook for online success. Each episode is fully packed with actionable tactics you can implement in your business right now. Take your life to a higher level and excel in your online success. It's time to work on you and your business. Let's do this.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Wizards of Ecom. This is Noemi, your host, and today I'm joined by none other than Aleksejs Leal. He is the co-host, or actually let's call him his host of the Wizards of Ecom Espanol. Welcome.
Yes. Thank you for having me, Noemi. Always glad to be here.
I'm always glad to have you on. And you know what? When preparing for today, yes, I'm preparing still for the shows. I remember that, hey, Alex was my, how do you call it, the bunny rabbit that you tested on? You were my first guest.
Yes, I was. And you did amazing. You did an amazing job.
I didn't, but thankfully, because it was bad, now it's good. So
it's a progress. It's a process.
It definitely is. So Alex, you're also a fellow wizard, and the reason I wanted to have you on the show, also we had a few minutes to chat about the reason why. I love to have a reason why I'm having people on the show, and your reason why it's going to be on the show is, first off, you're an Amazon seller, you know your stuff, right? Second off, I meet a lot of people who are offering their AAA services. They may be amazing, they may be really good, but they weren't a seller before. And not only that, but their business is not like on Amazon based, and then the AAA is something like a side hustle. Does it make sense? So I think that your input there would be like a ton more valuable than someone who built their business only on that model. Does it make sense?
Okay.
All right. Yes. So I hope so. I was like, I cannot talk. So yeah, I think a few questions I have for you. First off, because you're a seller, let's put it this way, what is a 3PL and how can it help you during your business, like Amazon business and everything what you're doing e-commerce wise?
Well, I think a number one help right now, we all know what's going on with the storage limitation. You know, the Amazon that put you limit on how much inventory you can send. I think that's a huge setback for any sellers, and doesn't matter what model you are, wholesale, private label, arbitrage, will have that limit, and it's affecting everyone, you know. So having 3PL, I think it's important now more than ever, just because for that reason only. But other than that, of course, we have also, you can save money on the shipping, you can save money on the storage, you can have more flexibility on taking your business to another level, you know, not focusing on the logistic, because I know some people starting and they doing everything, you know, and it's hard to do everything. And there's have to be a point that you need to focus on something that is more productive, and picking, packing, I don't think it's a way to do it, you know. Yeah. And I saw, again, I'm been selling on Amazon for past 8 years, we all know. And I saw a lot of people struggling in that. That's why I started doing that fulfillment service to help people when they're starting. There's going to be a point that they don't need 3PL. They can do it themselves. They can hire people. They can have their own warehouse. Maybe not. It depends. But there's a point that you're going to spend too much money on paying somebody that you can do your own and save money, you know. But meanwhile, you get to that point, you can always use somebody else, pay a little bit extra, dedicate yourself on growing your business, getting new products. Again, it doesn't matter what model you are. We're all facing an issue on getting new products and increasing your sales. So meanwhile, you grow in your business, you can have somebody doing the pick and pack and sending the merchandise, you know.
I love that you said that, and I also love that and appreciate that you said, hey, you cannot do everything. Now I think my personal weakness there is that I'm trying to do everything, and now, you know, after 2 years, I'm summarizing, hey, where did I waste it most of the time? It's on the things that were my weaknesses, and I would have, back then I didn't realize those were weaknesses, because most things are very like, you have passion for them, right? For example, today I just packed up a few FBM orders, and I was like, yeah, I'm packing up for my customers. It's like amazing. The feeling that you're giving, it's like making presents, but in the same time, it is not scalable. So exactly as you were saying, yeah, you might get, for example, Carlos or big sellers and so on, they might afford, first off, because having a warehouse is super expensive, right? Or it is a greater expense than a 3PL, right? So until you get there, you're building up your way. Is this also the way that you are, like what you were saying?
I'm honestly, I'm for the sellers, not the beginner, because it's good that they learn the whole process. I'm encourage them to pick and pack their own stuff, so they understand how the shipment process works, how the whole process of adding the product, sending the product, receiving the product, all that. I think they should learn that. So the seller I'm looking for is the one that already understand that part, and they're already scaling their business. And there's another seller, which is advantage sellers, where they can afford their own warehouse, their own employees. So I'm right to those in the middle. So those are sellers that I can honestly can help, because again, if you are too big, you can afford your own warehouse and hire your own people. That's okay. If you're just starting, you should still learn, that process. But if you all really want to scale your business and you are growing, and you need to pick and choose, because it's impossible to do everything on a scale way. You can do everything when it's very small, but when you start growing, everything becomes a department. Shipping becomes a department. Product research becomes a department. Accounting becomes a department. Marketing itself becomes a department. And in order to grow, you need to expand, and you need to understand and treat it as its own. Okay.
Yeah, totally. I really like that. So now that we understand what 3PL is and what basically your company, Remore Corp, is, who he's serving, and I actually just a short parenthesis. I love that you really know your target audience. I think it means so much, and it says so much about you and your company, because some people are just starting and everyone is my audience. No, that's not a good thing, So knowing exactly who are the people that you want to help, you can be really there for them. So that's great.
Exactly. And also big sellers, let's say they selling like a lot, they're not my customers neither, because I don't have space for them. I have my own stuff, and I have my own accounts, and I have other sellers. So again, I'm looking middle sellers, not too big and not very small, just right in the middle. Those are the one that I really want to help. And again, there's going to be a point that if they're too big, I'm going to let them know, listen, you already outgrow my operation. You should go and get your own warehouse, or get a bigger fulfillment center, which there is out there.
Yeah, definitely. Based on that, I think some of the things that you were mentioning, or newbie sellers, let's put it that way, I was also, first time when I experienced like this need for a 3PL company, or first time that I really needed a 3PL company and I did FBM orders, was the beginning, I think this year, something like that. And it was like, I didn't know what I don't know. I didn't know what questions to ask, and I didn't know what questions should, or what things are normal to happen, that I was like super offended. Why did it happen? So I think because of that, three main things, or three top things that you see most beginners do wrong in this scenario, like when they are starting out with a 3PL company.
The things that they do wrong,
like false expectations, I think.
False expectations.
Yes.
That they're gonna be their shipment is gonna go the shipment gonna go to Amazon right away. I mean, there's a queue, there's other customers. They need to understand that. And that's one. What will be the other? The fees. They need to understand the fees. Sometimes they think that one product that is just simple putting the labels and send it, it will be the same then that you have to put the bundle, put the bubble wrap and additional preparation. Those cost more because you have to put the person dedicated to do that, and that's additional cost, and you need to get additional supplies. So sometimes people don't understand that. They think it's the same thing, and it's not. And I'm always clear about that. I mean, I can tell them this is the fee for the simple preparation. If there's anything additional, I will customize to your products, because everyone have different products. Some people sending me things that they have to put out of the box, put them together, poly bag, and then put it back to another box. That's all those steps. Those additional costs, because it takes more time from my employees to do that. So those need to be clear, and I'm always trying to give them the price fast so they don't get the invoice after the month and they see all those fees, unexpected fees. I really hate to do that. I really want them to understand what it is. So you're okay, good. You're not okay, then just you will look for somebody else. So those are two. And what the other thing is, I really I don't like to FBM for people. I do, but it's because it's so delicate with the account health issue. I always want them to be careful and see what inventory, because again, they can put some product that they're going to sell thousands of units in one day, something unexpected for me, for my operation. And I don't want that to happen. I need to understand, explain it to them. This product is too much, or this product is no good for my operation, So, and sometimes they don't understand. And how is that possible? It's a lot of orders, but I don't want to false expectations. I want to make sure I give them what they expect. But before that, analyze their account, I analyze the order process. Those are, I guess, those three things that are very important before you start any 3PL. Understand the fees, the FBM process, which is very delicate, and that you're also in the order of the queue. If there's somebody else before, don't expect, if your products came today, don't expect them to be right out if there's somebody else before you. So those are three things.
Definitely. It's funny that you're talking about these things, because these are the exact things that were my false expectations when I started, right? It was like, yes, they thought that I am a small client, and they ended up to have 30, 40 orders per day that they couldn't fulfill then afterwards, and it was like backing up. Yet again, you're talking about account health. So there also, I think if I would have known the right questions, I would have asked them, So I really like that you are mentioning these things, because first off, I think you as a tripper also should help your seller understand, look, are we a good fit or are we not, But most of them, as I was saying, most of them, they're not necessarily sellers. And for them, it's like, okay, let's make money, And afterwards, it's like, okay, it's like a harsh relationship afterwards, and breaking up with someone and then not seeing them anymore, Which, go on.
That's why it's very. I know that because I'm a seller myself, so I know exactly the pain points of any sellers, So that's why I'm very careful, how I do it, with who I do it, and I understand the account. And to see if my operation is okay for the account, Because again, if Water and Resona is going to be 10,000 orders that I need to fulfill, I will do it, okay? Just because I have to fulfill it, but that will be very unexpected for my operation, and it will, can cause some issues. So, but understanding the account and understand the operation, I can have everything lined up before we start working, So
Would you maybe expand a bit like how does that process look like? Because honestly, as I was saying, I'm talking to a lot of 3PL owners, but no one really mentioned this. It was like, okay, these are the like they are giving their code, and this is the fee for the monthly payment and whatever. But they are not like going like, hey, let me analyze actually your account. So how do you go about that?
So it's very basic. If you want to do the FBM, right? You want us to fulfill by merchant. I want you to let me know what is your expectations of the sales daily sales that we need to fulfill. Okay. And what is the range of maximum and minimum? Let's say, because it's okay to grow, you know, because if you only sell the same amount, you're not growing. But let's say you're gonna do, I don't know, to give an example, 30 orders, 40 orders daily. That's your normal. What is your maximum? Go to your account and see what was your maximum FBM. Let's say it was 100. So I can know, and I have my supplies ready for those spikes, you know, for your account, for your particular account. So that's basic analysis that I do. You know, the worst case scenario, for you, the best case scenario, and also the worst case scenario, low sales. Well, what those ranges are, so I can be ready for you.
Sorry, and I really like that you were saying, okay, what's the best case scenario? Like as I was giving the example previously, like having 30, 40 orders and you're not prepared for it. I love that you said that, hey, if it might be the best case for you because you did sold 100 units, but that also means that if your 3PL cannot fulfill those, it means 100 times like, you know, stab in the back, you know, like Amazon doesn't like that, you know. So I love that you have that system there. I think the next question would be like, what do you see most, because we were talking about expectations or false expectation. What should be, how should you vet, let's say, let's put it that way, a 3PL to see, hey, are you a good fit? Are you not a good fit? Or what should you look at basically?
I think the best way to vet is to test.
Okay.
You do a test, you don't go all in. That's I do that with any business. Okay. Anything you get into it, the best way is to test how it goes, and then start gradually becoming the whole thing, you know. So you don't just go and right away give the whole operation, you know, because again, something happened unexpectedly, or that 3PL, and again, any business, and it's not good, you're already too deep in it, you know. So that's a problem, and that's mostly your fault because you didn't test it, you didn't try it, you know. So that would be my advice. Always test before you go all in. And always have another advice, always have a plan B in case. To give you an example, you have one 3PL, it's a great option, everything goes smooth, but have something in case something happens, because this is normal in life. Something happened with the 3PL, I don't know, flood happened, and you cannot get your orders fulfilled. You need to have a plan B for that. Okay, you can have your supplies in your house, or you can have another 3PL ready just in case something happened. You need to have a plan B for that. That's my advice.
Yeah, that's really a good one. And I think also that was my weakness there, because first off, this 3PL helped me, and then it was like you count on them, but you're not looking for anyone else, because I think in most of our minds is, first off, nothing wrong can happen. Second off, it's like you're very comfortable, you know, and like, why to look for something else, you know? And third thing is like, you think that you are going to go over that trust that you chose them or they chose you, and it's like breaking a partnership, when it's not. It's really like an insurance, I would say. Or how do you see it?
Yeah, you always need to mitigate your risk. I did a few presentations already on the topic. You need to understand the risk you're taking, okay, with any steps you do in your business. And again, that's that decision with the 3PL, with the production, with the marketing, with the new brand. You need to understand the risk you're taking, okay? And how can you mitigate that risk? Do everything we all understand the profit or the good thing, it's going to happen, but you need to understand what if something goes wrong. Okay, how can you handle, how you can mitigate, all that have to be in your plan before you're taking any decision in your business.
I must admit, my second weakness here is that I don't speak Spanish. So I'm sure that you presented so often about this topic, and I'm like, heck no, why?
No, I actually did. I did the 2 presentations in English about mitigating the risk and diversification. One was with the Amazon lead people in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
And the other one I did with I forget the name of the event. It was with the Romero at Miami Beach. Mm-hmm. And both of them were about the same topic, diversification and mitigating the risk. I think those are 2 key for my success. And meanwhile, I'm always having those present. I think your business become unshakable, Mm-hmm. Be diversified, and always when you take steps in your business, you mitigate your risk. You understand the risk you're taking, and those 2 things helps to be unshakable. That's my opinion. There may be some other things, but those are 2 that I'm very strong in.
Yeah, I love it. And the first thing when you were saying, actually it was in English, I was like, oh shit, no, hope not. And I wasn't there. Okay, good. So we clarified it was different events, and this is why I didn't attend it. But Alex, now this brought up a really good thing. I definitely want to have you back on this topic, because I think this is part of my success. Why am I successful? We are very, very calculated people. I'm not saying that we cannot be more calculated, but I'm definitely agreeing with what you're saying. It's try to make decisions that are not going to kill you somehow, So everything what you take, just like afford to lose it. Everything what you lose, afford to lose it. If you're not affording to lose it, it means you shouldn't take that decision. So
exactly, that's exactly how it is.
I want to have you back
that can be in any model of your business, in any business, There's going to be so many opportunities and so many things that you're going to be able to do with your business, but there's going to be a risk involved. There's a lot of people thinking that taking risk is what it takes to succeed. Mm-hmm. And I think it's taking calculated risk. It's what makes you succeed. Okay. If you don't calculate that risk, a lot of people go out of business. So,
okay. So
that's my...
Now I ask you on the podcast, now you have to say yes. So all right, so we kind of like slipped from today's topic, but I think actually this is a really, really good point that most people also don't understand with 3PLs. They don't see the risk there. For example, for me, it was exactly as you were saying, hey, I didn't calculate it. That's what happens if they don't deliver, I'm nowhere, and it was like, hey, that was my weakness, because I didn't actually see. I'm also like not good risk taker. There you go. But you don't know about things that you don't know, and this is why, as Alex was saying, yeah, definitely know exactly, and be sure to not put all your eggs in the same basket here, meaning one 3PL, because then if that 3PL suffers, I don't know, earthquake, whatever, anything that can happen, you suffer.
There's so many things can happen. I mean, it's
external
countless things can happen to anybody, so it's always important to cover your things and understand and have plan B for anything.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so now that we understand, okay, what it takes, also that 3PL, having one 3PL, it might not be enough, right? You touched on something super important that I now forgot about, but it was, I think, we were talking about expectations, what to not expect. Red flags. What are the first red flags that you should be really taking care of when you are going to vet your new 3PL, let's say?
What do you mean, red flags?
Like, for example,
something that you think it's already not doing well?
Yes, but you already have a gut feeling, but you're telling yourself, hey, that's normal, or hey, that won't affect that much, or hey, that's like, just let's close an eye and that's all. Does it make sense? Like things that it's obvious for you that it's there, or it's already not. Like, for example, when you're hiring someone, right? And you're like clearly saying that, hey, you have to be punctual, you have to be there on time, I'm relying on you. and you see that one time they are like messing up, the second time they are messing up, third time they are messing up, but it's like the bond is already there, so it would be very hard for you to, hey, look, this is how I hired you and you're not keeping your word there, so I need to rely on someone and to find someone else. So I think here a red flag would be, look, for example, they are not delivering on time, but they said that they are going to deliver on time, or I don't know what's the, because you also know how it works.
It's pretty easy. If it's affecting you negative, if it's your business affecting negatively, it's bad. You have to take your decision. You have to decide that if you're going to keep working or not with that company. If it's been, not everybody's perfect. Something can happen. It's all depends, how bad it is, how often it is. If something happened once, that's normal. If something happened like something normal, that's okay. But if it's really bad, like I think you mentioned that 200 something orders that wasn't fulfilled. That's that's unacceptable, I don't know what happened. You need to understand also, we're all humans, we're not perfect. But it depends what happened. It's something that you think, okay, that's really justifiable, and it's okay. You have to be a judge, but never judge on your feelings or some bond you have. You need to understand it's a business. If your business is affected negatively, it's just not personal. You just need to take your decision and go to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's you implement that in anything. Anything you do in your business. If there's some relationship that are not good, just have to let it go and go to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the other good thing, having some other, let's say if you have a 3PL and you have a plan B, in case something goes wrong with that one, you have another one. Then you go to another one, you stick with that one until you find the other plan B. And that's how you work,
Right.
It happened to us with the suppliers in China many times. Sometimes you have one that is really good and it's been in the beginning good, and then something start happening, but you have a plan B, you have another supplier. So if something goes wrong with that one, which happens, you just go to the other one that you had from plan B. You cut it off because it's unacceptable having 20% defect rate, So you go to the next one. Now, and then you find another plan B that covers that one if in case something happens. And the same thing should be with the 3PL. It maybe sounds cruel, but I even do that with my employees. I have a VA that do one job, and I have somebody helping that VA and having that as a plan B in case my main one leaves, and I do that just for that. I do that with accounting. I have one bookkeeper and I have a bookkeeper helper in case my main one leaves, And I think you should do that for everything. You need to. You are the business owner. You're the one who really responsible for anything that happens wrong way. There's nobody to blame. So if something happened, you're the only one who is in fault.
Yeah.
So.
I think this episode was the most serious one ever that I had. But in truth, it's exactly like you say. It doesn't matter, like as I was saying with Amazon, you represent, you are the representative, and also the business, you are the head, doesn't matter if someone screws up, it's because of you, so I love that you put it that way. And I think here also, like as you're saying, hey, if you see that once, twice, 3 times, those things are not being done correctly. And I also love and appreciate that you said, hey, I'm doing this also with my employees. I think that's a really, 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 really good habit to have, right? Mm-hmm. So here, for example, with the 3PL, let's say, what are the things that are normal to happen? What are the things that might have been false expectation? And what are the things that are not acceptable? So it's like we should put an end there.
Exactly.
Like, that was the question.
Say it again. Repeat your question. You lost me.
I know. I have a very soothing voice, but yeah. Exactly. No, I was saying sometimes it can happen that someone it's really doing a genuine mistake, right? And it was a mistake,
Okay.
and you understand that, and it's like it happened. Next time shouldn't happen, right?
Okay.
What is something that, hey, you see all the time happening, and what is another thing that is like, hey, this happened. This is for sure a stop. I'm not going to work anymore with you. Because we were talking about false expectations at the beginning, many sellers do have false expectations. So what is normal to expect there and what is not normal? Does it make sense now?
Yes. So the question is, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable in case of 3PL, right? That's what you're saying, in general.
I think that Carlos is going to have you as my plan B when I'm taking out the podcast. Exactly, you just put it in beautiful words. Thank you. Yes, that's the question.
So I mean, it's hard to answer because for you it's something maybe it's not acceptable. It's not the same what is for me,
Mm-hmm.
So you have to understand your own operation. You need to understand what is your expectations and what can you accept and what you cannot accept.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot accept something that can get my account suspended.
Mm-hmm.
That's not acceptable. Maybe something that is affect a little bit, but it's not as bad. That's maybe is acceptable. Again, for me, maybe for you, it's not.
Yeah.
It all depends what type of issue, what type of tolerance you have for a specific problem. I think whatever is affecting in our case in 3PL, whatever is affecting really bad your account health, or you can get suspended. I think that shouldn't be tolerated.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the other things. I think those are minor things. I mean, something late shipment that can I don't know, any complaints from the customer for any reason. Those are things. I mean, there's a lot of people complaining for whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So, but something that really can pull you out of business, can get your account suspended, like bunch of orders get lost or just not fulfilled, something like that. I think it's really bad. Mm-hmm. So, but other than that, I think it's in my opinion, can be overlooked, or it can be just handled, and it can be okay.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you have to understand your expectations and what you are okay with and what you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Me as a seller, for me, whatever is affecting my account health.
Yeah.
To give an example, send your wrong product to the listing that is hazard or something that really bad that can really get your account suspended. I think it's pretty big.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be tolerated. So.
Got it. And I also like that you explained exactly what it means for me, or for the reason I was asking this is if you become the ideal seller that Alex would like to work with, you're basically coming from I'm doing everything myself. So I will have high expectations because I am doing, as I was saying, I'm preparing this as presents for my clients, right? And sometimes what it can happen is like, hey, yes, that's true, but that's not how someone else is going to handle your business as well. So just be careful, because that doesn't mean that they're not doing a good job. It just means that, hey, they have other 100 clients, let's say, more. So right. The way they are handling things is perfectly normal, right?
But then if they have too many clients, then that's not the right person for you, not at the moment.
Oh.
Or any moment, I don't know. If they can handle properly your account because they have too many people, then you have to go to somebody else that can give you more particular, more customized attention to you.
I actually love this. This wasn't even in my list of questions that I don't have today. Being See, that's a really good point. So then 3PLs also are specializing, let's put it this way, to someone that's very careful and very like putting all the stickers and the thank you notes and everything. And are those ones who are like in mass producing, in mass delivering things? Is this something also that you should look for when you're looking to partner up with the next 3PL?
I mean, if you want to put a thank you note, that's a just additional fee.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you need to expect that. If that's something that you're okay with, any 3PL should do that. You know, that's something additional for them to do, but it's anybody can do it. And now if there's 3PL saying, no, we cannot do that for you, it doesn't matter what fee you pay, then again, that's not 3PL that you would like to work with.
Mm.
There are too mass production, there are too many customers, and you want something more particular for you, customized to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that's, again, I'm in my operation, I'm also picky with the sellers that, believe it or not, I rather have only, 20 sellers than have 100 sellers, you know, that give me a pain in the head, you know. I rather have
I love that. I'm my head. Yes.
I rather have sellers that are, you know, that just I can customize for them. I can give them what they want. My operation are okay with what they do, because again, there is some sellers that want to sell refrigerators, you know. I don't have operation for that, you know. I don't have a 20,000 square foot of warehouse, you know. So again, I'm picky with the customers, but not just because I'm picky. No, I just want to give them good service, and I want to understand their needs, and I want to be able to fulfill their needs. You know, I want an ideal customer for me and ideal 3PL for you. You know, if I can do that, and again, that's go sometimes through the testing. Maybe you want to hire me, we do it for a week, and I can tell you, Naomi, you know what? I don't think your products or the way you want us to do it, it's not going to be good fit.
Yeah.
And I think it's better do that than try to do something and then something goes wrong and you're not going to like it and it's worst. You know? So, and I had to do it. There was few sellers that had to turn them off because the way they want to do things, I just couldn't do it. And it was all good, all fine. It's better than having a bad experience. That's what I think.
Yeah, definitely. See, for example, like when I'm talking to you, you clearly are a seller and you're clearly like, hey man, I want your business, but if we are not a good fit, we're just simply not a good fit. See, for example, this could also be dear listener and dear watcher as well. I just made up this word watcher. It's a viewer, but yeah, watcher as well. This is also something that you might have not thought about. Look, when you're vetting a 3PL, if they're not sophisticated enough, run. You know why? Because they are looking for the next client. And unfortunately, you might end up to be that next client that is going to suffer. So see, as Aleksejs was saying, if they are not asking you questions for stuff, I think this is the process that you're going to first asking them questions, knowing exactly if you can fulfill their need, correct?
Exactly.
Okay. Exactly. Brilliant. So this is something that
I ask questions, and again, I'm doing also a test. Same way the seller do test with me, I'm doing tests with them. I understand to see the process, because it's one thing what you're telling me, and the other thing what it actually is. You know. So because again, people telling me one thing, and then they start bringing other products, and the packaging is totally different, and their expectation is others. So all that start changing. And if it's changing, it's not the way you told me, then I have to let you know. You know, it's not what you told me, and I don't think it's a good fit. We're not a good fit for you. That's it.
Yeah, I love it. It's a very cold approach, I might say, but it's something that everyone needs. You know,
it is cold, but it's not that cold. It's worse when things go wrong.
Yeah.
You know, when things start happening bad, then it's becoming cold. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I rather to be a little bit more cruel and say what it is and that's it, and I'm still your friend, than start doing things bad and something that's not what you expect, and start building something that is, when it explodes, it's becoming a nightmare, you know. So
Yeah. By the way,
so I it never happened to me. So I don't want that happen, you know. So
Yeah.
it never happened to me that I had a customer that was dissatisfied and they just left. Thanks God I never had that issue. But I did have moments when I said that I couldn't keep doing business with you because I don't think we're right fit. I did said that a few times. So, and I'd rather be like that.
Yeah, I was just thinking, because I'm just going through, this is a small caveat for our viewers and our listeners. I'm also going through a hiring process at this point, and it's
oh boy.
No, honestly, I'm loving it, and I didn't
Are you
realize.
loving it?
Yes, I am, and I didn't realize how kind and how nice I was beforehand. But it was only because I didn't know what I'm doing, you know. But I recognize now, hey, that person, if it's not clear for them, if they're not at least 3-4 times saying, yes, I'm 100% sure, I understand what it takes, you know, that's also like, it's something that helps. And it's also somehow a cold process, but it's a must, you know. And exactly as you were saying with the clients, this is also a hiring process because they are hiring you, right? And you are also hiring them in some way, you know, because
it's a relationship.
Yeah,
it's a business relationship. It's have to be both ways. It's not just one way, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that everyone should understand that it's a business relationship. It's both gonna be beneficial. It's not only me beneficial, you beneficial. We both are benefiting from this. So it have to be an harmony, you know, harmony relationship. If not, it's no good.
Yeah. Alex, is there anything that I should have asked you that I haven't until now?
I think you did pretty amazing job.
Oh, thank you. It took me only 22 guests to get here, so I think it's not bad.
You asked everything that anybody should know about hiring any 3PLs. So I think you did an amazing job. You point some things that even I had to think about it. So those are good.
Brilliant. So if you decide, I mean, you listener and watcher decide to go through this, at least, you know, make an SOP out of my questions. Okay. So it's legit that these are good questions. So ask these questions whenever you're going to hire out the process, because yeah, as I was saying, it is when you are that person that it's going from I'm fulfilling everything myself to, okay, let's find help. These are really crucial things to know. First off, you won't get disappointed. And second off, obviously your account will be in good shape and good health. So definitely ask these questions. To be super respectful of Alex's time, I love to ask a lot of questions, but these ones are the wrap-up questions. So first question there, if you would have a superpower, which one would it be?
Superpower?
Yes, sir.
Superpower. I don't know. You got me in surprise. Let me think. Make everybody laugh and happy.
That's a great one. And you know why it's funny? Because during the whole presentation, during the whole episode, it was so sober, you know. It was like making everyone there you go. All right,
that's a really good
one.
power.
That's a really good one. Yeah, true. And I think the next one is if you would have $50 or less, in what would you invest in, knowing that you're looking for a 3PL?
If you have $50 or less, where you were invested to get the 3PL?
Yeah,
that's the question. I mean, you don't need $50 to find a 3PL. So
okay.
I would just have a good lunch.
Right.
and Google it. Have a nice lunch and Google it.
All right. You got me there. All right. Now you left me like speechless.
the good thing, we have a free information in all the browsers that we have. So do your research. Again, test any 3PL that you're going to work with. Don't just go all in and get surprises on the way. Test it, give it time, understand the process. If you like it, then gradually go and get, the whole operation with them. Mm-hmm. If not, you don't like it, something that you don't like, don't hesitate, pull out and look for another one, because sometimes people see that something wrong, but it's like, okay, this is one thing in the test process.
Yeah.
And it's always end up bad. So don't do that. Just go on to the next one. There's so many of them. And just take your time and make sure that you get the one that is best suited for you. So those are my advices.
And it was free. You didn't even have to pay $50 for the
And anyone that want to contact me and they want to see the service, if they're interested in 3PL, they can DM me in my Instagram, which is ALEKSEJS, and my last name LEAL. Or they can also go to the company Instagram, which is Rimor, RIMOR Corp, CORP. Mm-hmm. And they can also DM me. I'm the one who handling the account. So just DM me, and any questions that you can have, I'm going to try to answer them.
Mm-hmm. Brilliant.
I don't do any courses, so there's no courses. People DM me all the time and asking me about the courses.
Oh boy. But you know what? You actually did my job, because that was the last part of my question. Like, how can people get a hold of you?
I'm helping you.
But you all right. But you skip something super important. Books. 3 favorite books and why?
3 favorite books and why?
Yes.
So that one is easy. One is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's a very basic book, but that's the one that really changed my mind. That's the one I really start to, I guess, the hustle and thinking differently. That's the one that really, I don't know why, because I reread this book, and now it's, for me, it's too simple, and I didn't know why when I read it, which was, I was like 18, 19, I had a totally different mindset. So at the moment, it really impacted me. Okay. So that's number one. Again, for somebody, it can be very simple. In today's world, there's so many books, and people may think it's very simple. But at the moment when I was 18, for me, it was the most impactful book. That's one. Second one is, I would say, The One Thing. I love the book. Very simple, but it helps you to focus on one thing that really help your business or anything you do in life. Just focus on one thing, go all in, push it, and then you're going to see the magic happens. Okay. And the third one is Money Mastered the Game by Tony Robbins. I'm a huge fan of Tony Robbins. Read all his books, all these programs. That book is really a long one, a little bit boring maybe, but it gives you a very great foundation for your retirement, basically. What you should do to how to put your money to work, not the other way around. So the small concept that you can utilize since you're young, and that can compound to something really great towards your future. Okay, so those are 3 books that I really recommend, and I think they're good.
Brilliant. And I also took notes in the meantime, so I also opened up everything on Amazon, and these links will be provided to the books. Alex,
I haven't seen you in our book discussion, Noemi. You should join us. It's in English, and it's only once a month. So,
and last time you had Navarra Vikander, and I was like, shoot.
And that book was amazing. And that book was really good. I love it. I mean, the information, it's repetitive. I already heard a lot of information, but the way he put the information, And I think that's important of a good author, when you read the book and it really reaches you. So that guy did really good job. I'm start following him, and there's other books that I'm gonna start reading. Really good. So you have to join us, Noemi. Okay. I really want your feedback.
Now everyone, it's like it wasn't enough but like the whole world can know I am not in the book club.
And we're doing it. We're back online, so we're doing it on Zoom, not in person. So I think you should definitely join. It's only 1 hour once a month. So do your effort.
All right, let's redirect the subject. Pitch us the book club. Pitch us the book club. Where can people join the book club? And also we have a Telegram chat for this. So if you mind, sharing info.
Yes.
What can they?
It was a question again. Sometimes you talking so fast and you lose me in the points where it's a question or it's a statement. So our book club, it's a business entrepreneurial book club. That's the name. You can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on Telegram. We assign one book a month, business related book. Sometimes it's not directly business, but a lot of them have to be with the business. And we read the book throughout the month. And then first Wednesday of the month, we do the book discussion over the Zoom. Okay, we go live on Facebook. And whoever read the book and they want to join, we basically rate the book and we give the feedback. I love it because my way of seeing the book or reading the book, it's not the same your way. Okay, and you can give me your perspective, and you can even change mine. And I can get more benefits from the actual book than just having in my mind. It's becoming like a mastermind of one book, specific book, and I love it. And there was a few times that basically something that I didn't even see it in the book, and somebody was telling that thing that was like, oh my God, that's true. I didn't even notice it. So I think it's powerful. I think anybody who reads books and they think that it's helps them in their life, which I think it's a must. But again, everyone have its own way of thinking. Should join, and see the books that we're reading if you like it, and join our discussions.
Challenge accepted. I'm the first one. Next time, see me there. I'm going to come and I'm going to be there. And actually, you brought up a really good point, and I think this is like also going to be the final things that we're going to talk about, because it's still 3PL related. You brought up a really good point, which is reading a book, learning something, understanding something, seeing someone else, bringing exactly the same topic, and it's the wow moment, And for example, because you were mentioning the Rich Dad Poor Dad book, we also like both, my husband and I read that book like 5-6 years ago, and we're trying to implementing it in, if not everything, but 99% of our lives, right? And something super interesting, like a week or 2 weeks ago, someone was talking about that book. And yeah, when you're reading Robert Kiyosaki's book and his storytelling, it's basically, I have a rich dad and I have a poor dad, and these are the things that I learned from my poor dad and from my rich dad, right? But like 2-3 weeks ago, I was just reading a tweet, and it was something like, people who are coming from rich families are going to think totally differently and have the advantage of not thinking anymore like poor people, because when you are poor, you are also like not going to be, you won't see the opportunities there, So as a rich family, you will have the advantage, and it's exactly from the same book, but it's like a totally different perspective. It's not anymore like, hi, this is mindset and this is another mindset. It's like, hey, know clearly if you're coming from a poor mindset or a poor family, your mindset will be accordingly, and you will have limited opportunities there just because you couldn't afford things, So this is why definitely, if yes, challenge accepted, I'm going to be participating in the boot camp. And
yes, we'll have you, Noemi, on the next discussion. I'm gonna wait for you.
I'm super curious to see which book are you going to pick, though. By the way,
we already picked the book for this month.
Okay.
It's 100 million something. It's the
Oh.
author. The author is.
Go on.
You have read it?
No, that's exactly the same book that I had yesterday. Elizabeth Green talking about 100 million plus. I don't know. Let me.
Yes.
Is that the book?
Yes.
Brilliant. I am in.
All right.
All right. This was amazing. And it was like truly, I'm saying a lot of the time that this was amazing, but it was amazing. And I very, very much appreciate your time. It was very, very helpful. It was a longer episode that we usually go for, but I think that really every bit of it, it should make sense for you as a PR seller, as an Amazon seller, as an e-com seller, whoever you are, and you're wanting to start your way into like thinking big. This should be your go-to episode.
Thank you, Noemi, for inviting me, and it was always a pleasure talking to you. An hour passed, and I didn't even notice.
Yeah, right. Okay, I think that the last thing I'm going to do, like really end up with, you challenged me to join the book club. Now I'm challenging you to be again on the show, and we're going to talk about risk management and how to see it from when you're small, when you're medium-sized, and when you're a big business. How does this sound?
Great. I love the topic. Let's do it.
Awesome. All right. So everyone, thank you once again for being on the show, for being part of the show as well. And Alex as well. Thank you so much. And see you next Wednesday. Bye. Take care.
It was fun sharing this episode with you. If you found value in what you've heard, please show your love with a subscribe, rate, and a review of the show. Until next time.